Welcome back, my viewers. Today I'm going to speak of a very simple way of communicating with special children. I'm a teacher of special children by profession, but I find it like I see parents go through hardship and guidance when they're trying to communicate to children. Sometimes they just hold their hands and they wanna pull them and take them where they're supposed to be and all that because these children are not able to communicate. We want to come up with a way of teaching them how to communicate. You know, not all of us are able to pay speech therapists to come and teach your child how to communicate. But there are simple things as a parent that we can use to teach our children to say simple words in the house. And that's a way of beginning. It's a beginning of them being able to communicate to you. For instance, come up with a few words. We don't have to do a lot of words. Come up with a few words, and in this case, you have to be very patient with them because it's not something that is going to happen in 2 days or in a week. You have to be very patient with them and make sure that the words that you chose, you're working on them and you're not adding more words because unless they get those words, you're not supposed to add more words. Let's begin. For instance, maybe you want to work on toilet training. Maybe your child is not yet trained, he's still on diapers, and sometimes you get so frustrated, like, for how long am I going to use diapers on my son or on my daughter or on my nephew, on my niece, anybody who is related to you. So for instance, you want to keep him off diapers because you feel he's of age and he doesn't need diapers anymore. You want to teach him how to go to the toilet. This is what you do. Go with your daughter or your son in the toilet, okay? You want to teach him how to use the toilet. Remember, this is a child with a challenge. So it's not like the normal children who just go with the children and they see what is happening and they do. There's someone that you need to teach how to do it. So take your son, take your daughter, go with them to the toilet. Sit on the toilet or maybe squat, depending on how your toilet is. Then make sounds that we make when you're maybe pooping or sussing, because you're communicating to him. You want him to know how to use the toilet, right? And this time you're also speaking, like I'm pooping, and you're making that sound of pooping, and you keep repeating the word many times. Or sussing. Sometimes maybe you can flush the toilet or maybe pour some water just to make that sound that we have when someone is sussing. Then take your son, take your daughter, hold them. They can't be able to do it by themselves because it's a challenge in their life. So hold them and explain to them what they are doing. Make sure you're using a language that your son or your daughter understands. It doesn't have to be English. It can be Swahili. It can be you use the language that your son understands. At first, it's going to be very difficult because they're very aggressive to new things. But once they get to the routine, it's gonna work. Promise you that. Okay, that's a toilet, and make sure all the time you're communicating toilet. Let's also think of word like you want to teach your child how to say sleep. Maybe you can time him. Maybe he's sitting in the living room and now he's dozing. You can tell he wants to sleep. He's your son. You know how they behave when they want to sleep. So go to him and ask him, you want sleep? Sleep? You can keep repeating that word many times so that he can get to know. All this time that you're teaching your child because you want him to talk to you, you want him to communicate, make sure you're facing them and they can read your lips, right? And then when you're saying this word that you want them to get, make sure you say it slowly, because you want them to get it. Sleep, sleep, and then make that sleep. Sometimes you can even go with them to where they sleep on their bed and lie there and talk, I'm sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. That word is the word that you want him to get. Remember to use the language that your child understands. Okay, eating. Sometimes you want your child to say something, say eat, or say, or use the word eat in maybe mother tongue or Swahili, just to be able for you to be able to understand what they want. Go with them, put food on the plate, and show them eating. 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 And this time you're saying the word eating, your son is looking at you. So, and make sure you come up with like maybe 5 words or 3 words that you work on, and make sure is until they get it. That's where you introduce more new words. If you like it, you can subscribe for more videos. Thank you. Bye.